at 11,000 feet above sea level. This redefines elevation. Hey folks, Dad here with Elevation Diecast Racing. Let's roll the team's bracket for the Decide Your Ride earlier in the week. Today's feature channel, Scale Racing.
Somebody back east is saying, why don't she write?
All right. So today, on the left side of the bracket, we have Ford Truck versus Chevy Trucks. I did do sort of a qualifying runs to break these in. They have been down the lane a couple times. I do expect some of them to get faster. The last time I ran these, some of them got faster and kind of jumbled up the bracket a little bit for their position, but that's how it goes. But I think we've got them set pretty much where they go. The Cadillac V16, surprisingly, did loosen up, so I did put him in, and I took out the Ferrari because he did not want to roll. So we took him out and put the Caddy in. I'm going to go ahead and do the driver introductions now, and then we're going to roll the race. Rolling for Team Chevy Pickup is Frank and Neep, Dutch Clutch Racing, Bathurst Diecast Racing, Chris Hood, Model Speed Shop, PB&G Racing, Mystic Archives, Bugwood Diecast, Steel City Mafia Racing, Henry Stanislawski, and Stone Ponies Racing. And driving for Team F-150, Bad Fast Kentucky, Aramis Rodriguez, Your Nightmare Racing, Red Pill Racing, Scale Racing Channel, and the Zamac Speed Shop. And driving for Dad's race team is Bavarian Diecast, Troy Schonkweiler, Redline Salvage Inc., Alva 1370 Racing, DXP Diecast Racing, Larry Henry, and Mr. Gravelrama. For Team Minivan is Bad Dad Hobbies, Northern Roads Racing, Ram Raid Diecast, Mr. BFG, Larry Stipe, Zizzer Prime, and Browns Fan Larry. For Team JDM, Grateful Sam, and Stock Options Diecast. And finally, the pick for Team FTE was D20 Diecast, Robert Paris, E4I, 164 Drag Racing, Fantasy Football Fatality, and Archin 8 Industries. All right, let's do the pickup truck side of the bracket first. It is Team Chevy versus Team Ford. Team's bracket racing is underway. Wow. 2081 by the EV Silverado. 2081 being the time to beat. Wow. 2076 moving Team Chevrolet to round number 2. Next two rolling, the 2009 F-150 taking on the 91 GMC Cyclone. Wow, F-150 taking it to 109 is the time to beat. Improving his time to a 2:101, moving Team Ford to round number 2. Next two in the blocks, an ultralight from the Thrill Racers pack came from this F-150, taking on the Chevy Silverado from 1983. One of few in this race. F-150 pulls it out with a 2-1-2-0. Silverado have to best a 2-1-2-0. Looks like he might. 2-1-1-4, moving Team Chevrolet to round number 2. Next two up, a 1997 Ford F-150 taking on another EV Silverado in blue. F-150 takes off with a 2:09.6, and that'll be the time to beat. 2:08.4, getting faster is the F-150, going on to round number 2. All right, coming up next, Team Ford F-150 with another 97, taking on an 83 Chevy Silverado, this time in the fire colorway. Flamage Not getting it done this time. 2088 to 92. Silverado will have to beat a 2088. Good race. 2085. Moving F-150 to round number 2. All right, up next, another 2009 Ford F-150 taking on another 83 Chevy Silverado. Looking good. Looking good. Let's see who gets down the lane first. F-150 all day. Almost gapped him. 2098 is the time to beat. Close race. 2099 does not get it done. 2097 F-150 moving to round number 2. Next two up in the blocks, an 83 Chevy Silverado taking on a 1979 Ford F-150 in the Miller colorway. Tampa work. Wow, Team Miller getting it done. 2097 is the time to beat. 2090 getting faster as the F-150 moving on to round number 2. And the last two up running for the trucks, another gray Chevy EV Silverado taking on a 50th anniversary F-150. Let's see what happens here. Wow. 2084 by the F-150. And not all EV Silverados are created equal, I can tell you that. This one happens to be one of the slower ones I've opened. But look at that F-150 2069. Moving the F-150 on to round number 2. Looks like I might have to put a piece of plexiglass in there. So there it is for the trucks. Not looking good for Team Chevrolet as they only have the 1 and 2 advancing into the next round. All right, moving over to the other side, it's one from Dad's race team. It's the Saturn Seeker by the Kenner Fast Ones taking on one of Mr. Mom's minivans. Ooh, Saturn Seeker with a 2078. 2078 is the time laid down by the Saturn Seeker. Van pulls out in front, but does not get it. Wow, 2084 to 86. Saturn Seeker moving on to round number 2. Next two up, one from Dad's race team, the Ford Model T, taking on one from Team JDM. It is the Honda Civic. JDM 2101. 2101, the time. And 2103, moving Team JDM to round number 2. All right, two more. One from Dad's race team in the Ford Transit Matchbox, taking on Team JDM in the Nissan Skyline. 2103 from the Skyline is the time to beat. Skyline takes it. 2103, moving him on to round number 2 for JDM. Next two up, another one from Mr. Mom's Minivans, taking on one from the FTE. This is Boombox. Mr. Mom's Minivan with a 2083. That will be the time to beat. 2080. Mr. Mom's Minivan moving on to round number 2. Another one for Team Minivan and Team FTE. Wow, the Minivan with an 88. 2088 is the time the stock car is going to need. He gets out in front but does not maintain speed. 2086 moving another Minivan to round number 2. All right, let's see if Team Minivan can take 3 out of 4 and moving into the next round. Team Evo for JDM. Let's see who gets down the lane first. I have high hopes for this Evo. And hopes are about as high as it's going to get for this one. 2088 will be the time to beat. Sure is a cool paint job to, maybe perhaps build. Minivan rolling another one to round number 2. And up next, another one for Team JDM in the Liberty Walk Skyline, taking on an AE86 Corolla for Team FTE. FTE taking off with a 2102 is the time to beat. 2092 moving Team FTE to round number 2. And for Dad's race team, the Ford Transit taking on Team FTE in the Cadillac V16. Good race. 2084 though to 98. And that'll be the time to beat. 2084. 2078 moving FTE to round number 2. And here's how it looks moving forward to round number 2 for the teams. All right, round number 2 begins with one of the 2 Chevy trucks that made it into this round. Let's see if they can survive to round number 3 with the Chevy EV Silverado taking on a 2009 F-150. Oh, he does get him, and he ended up gapping him at the end. 2075 is the time to beat. 2075 again. Moving Team Chevrolet to round number 3. Next up, the other Chevrolet. Can he get past this F-150? Tall order. Gave it an effort. 2095 to 07. And 2095 will be the time to beat. 2085 by the F-150 moving to round number 2. Okay, next 2 up, a 97 F-150 taking on a 2009. Good race, 88 to 96. 2088's the time the 09 needs to beat. Out in front, got drove around the back end. 2085 moving the 2000 or the 1997 to round number 3. And last for the trucks, the 79 against the 09. Who goes to round 3? Good race. 79 to 82. 2079 is the time to beat. Woo! 2077 to 86, moving the 50th anniversary F-150 to round number 3. And then there were 4. Moving over to the other side, it's the Saturn Seeker from Dad's race team against one of Team JDM, the Honda Civic. Saturn Seeker with no problem, 2077. 2077. Not going to happen from the Civic, and Dad's race team moving to round number 3. All right, it's the dominant team from this side of the bracket. Team Minivan taking on Team JDM. I think we know how this is going to turn out. 2082 is the time to beat. Wow, 2074 by the Minivan moving to round number 3. Unfortunately, as the bracket would have it, these 2 minivans are squaring off. Good race. 2082 is the time that the Police Academy is going to need. Not going to happen. 2078 moving another minivan to round number 3. And as the bracket would have it, the ridiculously priced AE86 and taking on the Cadillac V16 for Team FTE. AE86 was out front. 2082 is the time the AE86 will need. Not going to happen. 2075 by the V16 moving FTE to round 3. Well, 3 teams survived. Dad's race team, Team Minivan, and Team FTE. All right, everybody from Team Chevrolet is going to have to hop into this vehicle if he's going to beat this F-150, keeping Team Chevrolet hopes alive. Oh, yeah, by a half a car length, 2075. And that will put 2073 Chevrolet into the semifinal race. And we got the 97 against the 2009 again. Should be a good race. Oh yeah, 77 to 81. If it comes down to it, it is 77 and greater than 4. Good race. 78, taking the 50th anniversary to the semifinal race. All right, moving over to the other side, are we going to see Dad's race team advance to the semis, or will Team Minivan cut that short. 79 to 85 is the time to beat. 76. Team Minivan moving on to the semis. And does Team FTE keep Team Minivan from dominating the right side of the bracket? It doesn't look like it. 72 to 77. 72 is the time to beat. 76 won't get it done. Move Team Minivan to the semifinal race. Will it be Team Chevrolet or Team Ford going to the finals? All right. This would be a good race. Who's going to the finals? Who's going to race for third? Team Chevrolet versus Team Ford. Good race. 2072 to 73. 2072 is the time the EV Silverado needs. Oh man, 2072 and greater than 2. Wow, this EV Silverado moving to the final race. All right, which minivan's going to meet that Chevrolet in the finals? Both pretty fast. It should be a good race. 2080 is the time to beat. 2080, wow. And it's going to go to the Mr. Mom's minivan. Going to the finals. EV minivan. That will be it for the final. Here is your race for third. Team Minivan and Team F-150. 2076 by the van. 2076 is the time the F-150 needs to beat. 2078 won't get it done. Wow. And for your race final, it is Team Minivan taking on Team Chevrolet. And Team Chevrolet was the favorite to win this race. Minivan 2073. 2073 is what Team Chevrolet needs to beat. 2073 and a greater beat. Wow, and Team Chevrolet is indeed going to take the win. Wow. And there you have it. That was crazy, crazy racing. Good, close racing. Congratulations, Team Chevrolet, Frank and Neep, Dutch Clutch Racing, Bathurst Diecast Racing, Chris Hood, Model Speed Shop, PBJ Racing, Mystic Archives, Bugwood Diecast, Steel City Mafia Racing, Henry Stanislawski, and the Stone Ponies Racing. Congratulations. That was not what I expected. That's for sure. Coming in second and third place was Team Minivan, driven by Bad Dad Hobbies, Northern Roads Racing's Ram Raid Diecast, Mr. BFG, Larry Stipe, Zizzer Prime, and Brown Span Larry. Congratulations. Well done on your picks this week. So we'll get into some bonus racing. Let's see what this guy does against the ranks. And I've got a couple other cars we'll have a look at before we close out this bracket race. All right, just for record's sake, let's put him up against the elevated Gatekeeper, spot number 19 in the 31 to 40 weight class. Pretty close, 66 to 72. 2066 and greater than 6 is the time to beat. 2068 and 73, very close, but not going to get into the elevated ranks. Number 5 in the B-sides is the Twin Mill. Good race. 68 to 70. 68 and greater than 2. 63. Number 10 in the B-sides is the Matchbox GTO. Gonna get past him. 68 and greater than 5 is the time to beat. Uh-oh. 63. Uh-oh. Looks like we got a couple cars we need to go back and look at. Let's try number 15. It's the Lamborghini Urus. We'll get him over here, 68 to 72. 68 and greater than 4. Oh, wow. He's going to get him. which will put our winner today against B1, which is Boggs Family Racing. Let's see. Oh wow, 2070 to 77. 70 and greater than 7 is the time to beat. 72 to 6. Wow, he's going to move up. Let's see if he can beat Boggs number 3. Oh yeah, 70 to 4. 70 and greater than 4 is what the Boggs Family Racing will need. Won't get it. Let's see if he can take out the Mustang. He can. 68 to 72. Let's see if it holds. Switching lanes. 67 to 70. So our overall winner today from Team Chevrolet, 13th in the B-side rank. Not bad. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me today. I'm going to run a few more cars. I mean, we're only 20 minutes into this, and my lives usually go 2 or 3 hours, so why not, right? Let's see. We got a Camaro in number 4, and this one running a 206.3. Let's see what happens here. 206.5 to 68. 206.5 and greater than 3. The time to beat for the Camaro. 206.3 and greater than 3. Let's go. So that leaves him where he was at. Let's put this guy against the speed bump and do the same. You know, just kind of check them out since they're running good times. You always want to see if one will break out. 62 and greater than 5 is what the speed bump will need. Won't get it. So the GTO is moving up. Let's put him against the King Cobra. Love it. 64 and greater than 8. King Cobra, tall order. 66 won't get it done. GTO moving up. And if you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you know I don't mind that. GTO again, 63 and greater than 4. 63 and greater than 4. Corvette not being able to get it done. See how he does against one of the NASCARs. Wow, 64 and greater than 5. All right, let's see what happens. 64 and greater than 5. GTO stops here. And that's okay with me. We will, we'll roll with that for 7th overall in the B-side rank. Moving on to a couple cars I reworked. I found this guy in a box, and you know, he's from the graphite days, and I cleaned him out, reworked him, and let's just see what he does. I never expected much out of these Bone Camaros 2080, but they are one of my favorites, and they are part of the Hot Ones gang, so gotta roll them. Gotta see. 2072 isn't too awful bad. Why not roll them against the Poverty Hollow Torino? Torino drove around him on the big end. 2076 and greater than 2. Torino all day. So he'll challenge the class here at sea level. Let's see if the Torino's gotten faster. He got kicked out with getting our winner of tonight's race in there. Looks like he's indeed gotten faster. 68 to 73. So 68 and greater than 5. Won't happen, so the Torino is going to get back in. Let's see how he fares against the Shark. Hopefully he beats him. 69 to 73. So a 69 and greater than 4. Torino holding him off. All right, let's see what he does against the Lambo. Gets him too. 69 to 73. All right, greater than 4. 70 won't get it. Definitely one of the eligible Hot Wheels coming up in August for our Back to the Basic stock race. EB Silverado. just got beat here 71-4. 2071 and greater than 3. Whoo! Not greater than 3. Torino on a tear. He'll get him 72-4. It's getting tighter. 72 and greater than 2. 71 and greater than 2. So that's where the buck will stop here for the Torino, but definitely glad to see him move up a few spots to number 15. Last one we're going to look at that I worked up with these cars is a Sidekick, red line livery. He is in the 41 to 50 weight class. 2079, yikes. He's going to need to do a lot better than that to mess with this class. 2066 is better. Let's see what he does against Buddy Baker. Gold Hot Ones. Good race, 65 to 71. 2065 and greater than 6. Buddy Baker just smoked his lunch. We'll definitely be looking at that one here after a while. Coincidentally, sitting 10th in the B-sides is Buddy Baker. He will get him, it looks like, unless it's a dead tie. Nope. 69 and greater than 10,000 feet. Let's see what happens here. '62. Spot 15 is QBC NASCAR. He's going to get him. 2061 and greater than 7. And we'll have another look at the QBC later on as well. And this will be spot number 20. 64 to 7. 64 and greater than 3. Not going to happen. Here we go again. Well, we'll get another look at him when we calibrate those. We do have some more in the 31 to 40 weight class to go through. And building up a few more for the 51 to 61. I definitely want to take a look at a couple more of these as well. So I definitely appreciate everybody picking a ride for this one. Teams, decide your ride. I will definitely do another one of these. I've already got 32 cars set aside. And one side of the bracket will pit one against the other, just like this one. And then we'll have 4 more teams on the other side, and we'll see what happens in the next one. So from all of us over here at Elevation Diecast Racing, if your car isn't fast, well, at least it'll look good on the shelf. See ya.